Everyone, this is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and I am here with my brother. And we are here to revisit 8 Seas Merfolk in Modern. 8 Seas. Seas claim. The seas will claim what belongs to them. 8 Seas Merfolk. And if that's what you're in for, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Before we go any further, we're going to thank our sponsor, themanabase.com, your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. And I have new patrons supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support, supporting Merfolk and the channel. So, I would like to thank Fernando Barbin. I would like to thank Thomas Wees, David King, Cameron C. Higgins, and Daniel Weeb. Thank you so much for your support. It matters a lot. Keeps the channel going and keeps Merfolk strong. So, we're going to revisit Sea's Claim in Modern because there's a lot of decks that are actually quite weak to it. You look at Boggles, you look at Burn, you look at Tron, you look at Hollow One Aggro. So, especially since Boggles and Hollow One Aggro have jumped up in the scene, there are more decks weak to Sea's Claim. Also, Jund. Jund is very weak to this. If they have a hand that does not include Dark Confidant, they get crippled by Sea's Claim. You want to be playing your Sea's Claims in a metagame that has very few islands in it, or a lot of decks that are multicolored and they can't use the islands whatsoever. So that's why we're running Sea's Claim. And what an interesting time to be running Sea's Claim, because Merfolk Trickster just got printed. So this is sort of an updated list for today's era. We've got Merfolk Trickster. So I'm going to be running some hybrid between what kind of list I'm playing before and now. So I'm still going to be playing with Spell Pierce over Curse Catcher. So I'm going to be playing Spell Pierce over Curse Catcher, but we still have 24 creatures. The only odd thing is I'm playing only 8 Lords with Master of the Pearl Trident and Lord of Atlantis. I'm hoping I don't have to lean on Lords too much, because we are going to be locking our opponent out of the game with Sea's Claim and Spreading Seas. We're just going to turn the lands into islands. This is a super fun deck to play. And sideboard is pretty standard. We've got the Dismembers in the sideboard, and we'll bring them in against any matchup where we're going to need to deal with creatures, and Echoing Truth for those pesky ensnaring bridges. Got Deprives, gotta have Deprive, and Spell Pierce is usually all that you need, and we got Relic of Progenitus, and a single Kira. So with that, let's go play our league. So we lost the die roll, but we have a decent hand on the draw. This hand can make a comeback.
You don't know what you're up against.
Humans. And actually, I think this hand will be decent against humans. We can catch up with Aether Vial on the draw, and hopefully get into... Well, I need more creatures, because Aether Vial is not going to be particularly strong if we don't have creatures to unload with it. On the other hand, if we keep peeling lands, we could just hardcast the Master of Waves. But our opponent has a pretty fast start of their own. It'll be particularly dangerous if they play something like Mantis Rider. I would say that the 8 Seas deck, not particularly powerful against humans, because they can use the blue mana, or the casting cost of a lot of these things is very low. So this thing's going to basically whiff. I mean, we don't need the second Aether Vial. The disadvantage is Kitesail Freebooter gets to look at our hand. That's actually an advantage of humans that Merfolk does not have. They get access to their opponent's hand way more often than we do. So they can play Freebooter, and then, oh, you don't have so-and-so card. Okay, well, that's easy. I don't need to play around anything. Let's see. Is there any danger? No, I think we're just going to play a Silvergill Adept. And our opponent knows about every single card except the Lord of Atlantis. And the idea is we'll trade with the champion of the... Well, I sincerely doubt they'll give us the opportunity to trade with the champion of the parish, but if they somehow do, we'll make that block. And at the very least, it will be good to sacrifice later. Another champion of the parish. These things are annoying. And one problem with Harbinger of the Tides is, like, even if you bounce a creature back to your opponent's hand, they can replay it and get more triggers off of Champion of the Parish or Thalia's Lieutenant. So, like, these cards are fine tempo cards. But, like, late, long game, not super perfect. So, I will not block any of these things.
No, you will not.
I will not.
You're not gonna do shit.
And a good thing about humans is that they don't have any sort of what do we have here?
Star of the show.
Yeah, star of the show. Not only that, they got this Horizon Canopy, which it looks like they can't sacrifice it right now. They don't have the mana open. So that is a prime candidate to target. Seas claim! The Seas have come to claim your canopy. Merfolk. And let's start playing things. I'm going to play one Lord. I'm going to try to catch this other champion of the parish in the act next turn.
What?
So what I want is my opponent to play a creature, they get counters, and then I'm going to bounce the champion of the parish. That's the idea. Karen of Souls naming human. Alright, life total is really healthy, so that's good. And this card doesn't mean very much. Meddling Mage, pretty poor against Merfolk, thanks to Aether Vial. They're probably they might name Spreading Seas, but, like, you know, the damage is done. Names Master Waves. Still, that's not bad. It's a good idea. Which will encourage me to tick this vial up next turn, which I believe that we are going to do. Okay, so we'll Harbinger the champion of the parish back to their hand. It's going to come back down, gain some triggers for the other champion of the parish. I think it'll be okay. We'll take one. And then at our upkeep, we're going to vial in Lord of Atlantis and tick the vial up to 3 so that we can prepare it for Master of Waves. So vial trigger on the stack, we're going to activate this, put the Lord of Atlantis in play, and then we are going to tick this thing up. Next turn we'll have it available for Master of Waves. And we have a Harbinger of the Tides. Unfortunately, nothing to bounce? Yeah. So we're going to get in for what appears to be 11. I think I'm just going to play the Harbinger of the Tides anyway. Because I just want to have a blocker on the battlefield for...
You can't bounce that tap guy.
I can bounce the tap guy.
Would you get your Aether Vial back?
I will, and I'll replay it. I do want to keep my life total high enough so I don't get killed by this There's a creature for a red and I think 2 colorless. When it enters the battlefield, your opponent loses life equal to the number of humans you control. So they could play one. They could play the Freebooter, Reflector Mage. Yeah, you can only play 1 though. You don't have enough for 2. That's the problem. So you can bounce my Lord of Atlantis, but I still have a Lord on the battlefield, unless you can deal with that somehow. But humans decks don't have, like, Dismember or Path to Exile, or they don't even run Path to Exile. Oh, but you could play... I thought for a second maybe they could play Phantasmal Image. They could have hardcast Reflector Mage, then with the Seas claim play Phantasmal Image, copy Reflector Mage. I didn't think of that line. None of this matters anyway. They have a huge board, but I'm killing them. So they're only attacking for only 13, but that's why I left my blocker and then they're dead. So they saw it coming. So the Mana Screw plan, not going to be very valuable in this matchup, so we're definitely going to be taking out some Seize Claims. I'm going to keep some in, though. Seize Claim helps play around Meddling Mage a little bit, because one of the best things that they can name is Spreading Seas, because I can't Violin Spreading Seas. Let's talk about things I have to take out. I have to take out Spell Pierce. This card is pretty poor. And we'll take out 2 Seize Claims. Like, having extra Spreading Seas effects is important in this matchup. That's how we're going to win a lot of our games. And we're going to bring in 4 Dismember. Very likely we're going to bring in Echoing Truth. And Akira. Is that it? That's all I want? Everything else is pretty good. So we'll stick with that. So we already saw the effectiveness of Seize Claim. Thanks to Seize Claim, we got our Island Walk and got in some damage. So even though 8 Seas is a bit overkill against humans, having just enough Seas is good. This hand's good because, well, we can slow our opponent down with Merfolk Trickster. Also, we could, I can't remember what the interaction between Merfolk Trickster and Meddling Mage is. I believe it's favorable, though. Okay, we're going to play our island, pass. Our opponent has a very good start. Hopefully our Tricksters will be useful. But they don't do anything. They might have a very reactive hand. So I'll just play an island and pass.
No, you should spread them.
It's not that bad of an idea either.
Nah, because he plays like green, doesn't he?
A little bit. So there's a champion of the parish. Okay, so at their upkeep, what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to play Merfolk Trickster. Tap the champion of the parish, so that any creatures that enter the battlefield this turn will not give champion of the parish any counters. Of course, they can do it later, but whatever. What can I do? What can I do? So for 2 mana, what could be the bane of my existence? Not sure. I'll play Wanderwine Hub. I'll play Master of the Pearl Trident. That'll make my creature big enough to survive through a Thalia if they play it. Now they could have Dismember in hand. Dismember, that wouldn't be too bad. I don't want to, Dismember is only a 1 of or 2 of in their deck, so I don't think it's that big of a risk. Some things you also have to consider is if they have Phantasmal Image, they can copy anything that's on the battlefield. So they could, for example, Phantasmal Image, copy Merfolk Trickster, target Master of the Pearl Trident. They do have the Dismember, alright? So they take a hefty chunk of damage. Do you have anything to do on turn 2? Their hand is very poor. So their hand is like all Reflector Mages or something. Reflector Mage, Mantis Rider. There's the Mantis Rider. This could be the start of the pain. It'd be great if we draw 1 more land, then we could play 2 things a turn. That is not good enough. So, we could play Trickster now. We could play Trickster later. If we play Trickster now, we get in damage.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
But then they hit us back for what is probably a lot more. Another problem. There's problems all over the place here. 6. Another problem is if I play Master of Waves, it might not be long for this world. Our opponent clearly has just 3 drops in hand, so some of those 3 drops have to be Reflector Mages. And I don't really see us winning the Reflector Mage war. Or maybe we can. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm going to attempt to Merfolk Trickster the Mantis Rider and double block the champion of the parish. Or I guess that won't change anything. Okay, another Mantis Rider. I intend to just tap down one of these Mantis Riders. Again, I need a land to make a big difference here. Any land would be good. Spreading Seas into the Master of the Pearl Trident would... no, that's not going to do it. So in that case, we're just going to play Master of the Pearl Trident, and we are going to just attack for 6. And hopefully we survive next turn. Okay, they're going to take the damage. And now I guess we're hoping not to see Malcontents. Reflector Mage targeting. Master of the Pearl Trident. Well, we can still top deck a land, Spreading Seas, draw Lord of Atlantis, and then oh no, forget everything I just said. They found a 2-drop, which they had to eventually. Make everything big, and we are dead. If we could at least hit our curve, we would have been... I would like to say that we would have won, but no telling if that was true. So now, I don't think I want to change anything on the play. I think I'm going to keep everything the same. Like, Kira would have been fine there. Kira protects us from Reflector Mage, a little bit from Is It Staticaster, and from Dismember. I like our game. Sounds fine. We'll keep this. I'm willing to dismember anything that they play on turn 1. Especially if it's Champion of the Parish. Especially. The worst would be if they have Ether Vial.
Come on. Hurry up, Bob.
What do you think of humans as a tribe?
It's pretty crappy. I mean, you got all these mythical archetypes. You know, humans just suck. We're just pathetic. We're weak. We got nothing.
We use our brain. But
Tarmogoyf uses claws, and he's like 1,000 pounds.
Yeah. Okay, so our opponent Mulligan, that's great. We'll play our island and pass.
No human, with all his ingenuity, and like maybe a nuclear bomb could take out a Tarmogoyf or something. I don't know. Primeval Titan.
Oh, that's poorly timed. But you know what? We have to play Ether Vial even on turn 2.
She's Spreading Seas that cavern.
Nah, Ether Vial, even though it's late, it's still better to play it now than later. And we're going to have to let this thing resolve. So Freebooter has an opportunity to eat anything in our hand.
Don't take the seas. Don't do it.
They're probably going to take... Well, who knows what they're going to do. They're going to take the Echoing Truth. So I guess their Ether Vial is worth more than anything else. It's not a thing to take, because I could... So, I mean, the Kitesail Freebooter, we have to think, how much damage is this worth over the course of the game? Maybe quite a bit. So, maybe we... Yeah, maybe it's worth quite a bit of damage. So let's say it's worth 3 damage. It would be wise to dismember it here. But you know what? Maybe we can Merfolk Trickster it somewhere down the road.
Would doing that return the Queen Truth to you?
Yep.
Because
it would. Even though we remove all abilities, it would. So I think we're just going to keep it like this. Nothing to do on turn 1, okay. Okay. So here's the problem. If I Merfolk Trickster it now, I want to block it, but if I do that, then they could play Thalia's Lieutenant and put a counter on it. In that case, I'm not going to block it. I'm not going to do anything. Take 1 damage. Fine. But I will play the Trickster at end of turn anyway, because I need to use up my mana. Another Spreading Seas.
Use it.
Might
as well use them. Get a card.
I don't know if I want to use them. It would be nice to have 1 extra land so I could have this Dismember up. Because at any moment they could like have a really busted... They could just like empty their hand and do something really stupid.
Gotta get rid of that Cavern of Souls too.
Okay, let's just attack with Merfolk Trickster and see what happens. No blocks? Alright, I'll put a Lord in play.
Get rid of the Cavern of Souls.
I don't think that's going to do very much right now.
Just use one of them.
Either that or I play... I'm not thinking of Spreading Seas. Like, the last thing I want to do is play Spreading Seas. Well, this is not entirely true. I could... But I don't... I really want to use this Dismember.
Alright,
okay, I'm gonna pass again.
Wait 1 more turn.
I can keep playing these Master of the Protrans. Wow, they had nothing to do on 2 again. I'll admit, they gotta be careful. They can't just play anything on turn... Yeah, they have to be careful. With everything. Noble Hierarch. It's a bit unfortunate. They also might have something to do for 2 mana. Like something like... What do I want to say? Like, let's say they have Thalia's Lieutenant. They might want to wait until the board gets big enough that they get some good use out of that card. Okay, with the Exalted Trigger on the stack, I'm going to kill this thing. And get my Echoing Truth back. Reflector Mage.
Did you used to play with this card?
No, never. Never, ever, ever.
Maybe when you splashed green that one time.
And they have a pretty good mana advantage now, so if I Echoing Truth, say, Ether Vial,
do it.
They still have Noble Hierarch to cast things. I think the best thing that I can do is just put a lot more power on the board. And then just try to race them with brute force.
Best thing
hopefully
to
they
do
do not have
an artifact.
Hopefully they do not have 1 Dismember.
Land and artifact disruption, that's all you need.
That's one thing.
Put them a turn behind. Or several turns behind.
I might be hoping that they don't have... They're missing 1 mana. What is this? Red mana. Oh, the Malcontents? I think it's called Kessig Malcontent. Oh no, of course, it's just Mantis Rider. Okay, that's gonna hoof me in the face for 4. This Merfolk Trickster, that's not bad.
Spreading Seas for Island Walk. Unblockable, he's dead.
Unless they have Reflector Mage. Unless they have Reflector Mage.
What does that cost?
3.
And it could be cast with an Aether Vial?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you gotta move the Aether Vial out of there.
What if I Spreading Season Pass? I'm like really in range of dying here. But at the same time, I don't want to... So now we're in a situation, can we wait? Can we wait even 1 more turn?
No.
Because maybe we can. We have the Trickster in our hand. I know they can attack for a ton of damage. But okay, so I guess the question is, if we wait with Trickster, does that help us? They'll always have Reflector Mage in hand. They'll always have it. So let's say they have Reflector Mage in hand. Is there any way to play around this? Just attack with Merfolk Trickster, Reflector Mage one of the Lords back in hand. Take 3 and maybe beat us down for a ton more.
He's tapped out minus the Aether Vial. Get rid of the Aether Vial, he has nothing.
Yeah, but then I can't play Spreading Seas. Oh, by the way, if I bounce the Aether Vial, the in response can activate and put the Reflector Mage in play anyway.
Boo.
So and they again have to have a bunch of well, they don't have to have a bunch of 3-drops. They could have been saving Athalia's Lieutenant. They could have been doing that the entire time. So do I earn anything by holding up the Trickster? Let's say they play another Mantis Rider. Then I tap it down. They attack me for 4. I go to 7. Is my situation any better? I guess it's not. I guess we just have to go for it and just hope they don't have Reflector Mage. Because if they play another Mantis Rider, then I'm just doomed. So we might as well just go for it. If we can. We have an opportunity to win this turn, so we're just going to force our opponent to have the Reflector Mage. And it's just a Mantis Rider. My brother was right all along, people. My brother was right all along. Just Spreading Seas them out. All right. So we're up 1 game. Going to move on to game 2.
You had the perfect 10 with those 3 creatures.
You know, kudos to my opponent. Forcing me to win. They knew I had Spreading Seas the entire time. They knew it.
You cannot be a baron of bacon. Bacon is not serfdom.
They knew I had Spreading Seas, but they didn't resign. They put me to a decision. Do I want to risk getting blown out there, or will I give them another turn? Decide not to give them another turn. And that is why I'm the master. That's also another reason why I couldn't give them another turn. If they were going to play something like Mantis Rider, well, we were in a lot of trouble. Like we weren't beating that anyway. If they had Reflector Mage in hand, and if they didn't have Reflector Mage in hand, then that was the time to go for it. They made me sweat a little bit at the end, though. Just a little bit of sweat there. Activate that Aether Vial. Show me that Mantis Rider's brother.
Should I get you a fan or something? Should I fan you off?
Oh. We need one of those USB fans.
This name looks familiar.
Zernak, yeah, that is familiar. That can't be good news. So our hand is great. It's a great Spreading Seas hand. It's a great Aether Vial hand. It appears we are up against Affinity.
Well, Trickster blows Infinity out these days.
That is correct. Look at that hand. They're going to hit us for what? They're going to hit us for 2, 4, 5, at least 5 damage next turn. At least.
Haven't seen Infinity in a while.
But hopefully Merfolk Trickster is going to have something to say about this. Hopefully. 1 card left. Please be a dud. Oh, it doesn't look like much. Okay, here they go. Actually, you know what? I take it back. We get hit for this much, then we're going to get hit for just as much next turn. Or something similar. So we have to avoid... Oh, another... That is good news. Alright, so now we're in the driver's seat with these Merfolk Tricksters. We're going to eat the Signal Pest. Mountain. I haven't seen Mountain in Affinity in so long. So the idea is we're going to play the Trickster, we're going to target the Signal Pest, we're going to block it, because it loses flying.
Sorry,
Then we're going to go to our next turn. Oh yeah, I forgot about this stupid thing. Welding Jar. Alright. Well, we've got another Trickster to deal with it.
There he is.
That is bad news, though. That's going to make short work of everything else that we have in our hand. So can we race this? We might be able to. Okay, 3, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's not good news. I might have to Trickster this thing pre-combat. We have a lot of damage in hand. We have that, and then we can start blocking things on the ground. Yeah, I think I actually have to Trickster this pre-combat. So that we don't die. Horrible death.
Is it Tuesday?
Today?
No, that was yesterday.
Why are you asking?
I don't know. Because I don't know what the day is. Day of the week.
Okay, well, I guess we're just going to tap whatever that thing gets equipped to. Well, that's excellent news, because I was going to tap that thing anyway. There might have been a slight misstep by them. But still, like, I don't know. We need to draw one more Trickster to deal with this cranial plating in the future. So we need one more Trickster or a Harbinger. Harbinger would be fine as well. We have a bunch of those in our deck. Master of the Pearl Trident. We can deal so much damage, yet so little. So everything depends on this Spreading Seas. Everything depends on this next Spreading Seas. And I guess the next Spreading Seas should hit... Oh, and just to be certain, I don't win here, right? Because I can put 2 Lords in play. That's 5, 10, 14 damage. It's a lot of damage, but it's not enough. It's not enough to block the Flyers either. Yeah, we just died everything else, so I have to do this. Trickster or Harbinger? Well, you're not really well positioned against this deck either. Now what do we do? Resign?
Put in one more Lord, swing for everything, and hope for the best.
We needed a little bit more damage on them. Just a little bit more damage. Yeah, let's just go.
No, swing with everything.
You want me to swing with everything?
Swing.
Everything?
Well, put one more lord in to pump them up just that one more time. That was a wasted opportunity.
Let's get them to block with their Mem Knight. Maybe they'll block with 2 Mem Knights. Not that this changes much.
You never know.
Oh, do you know what I could have done? Shoot. Well, it wouldn't have mattered, but I should have just passed with the Ether Vial on 2, and then give them an opportunity to maybe make a mistake. But the problem is anything they attack with would have been winning in the air, because they just have to activate the Seer. But maybe they had done something different, who knows. So I forgot that you can always pass with an Ether Vial on 2 and try to represent a Merfolk Trickster or a Harbinger of the Tides. Maybe that would have been good enough. So against Affinity, we're going to take out 2 Seize Claims. It's good to have the Seize Claims, but not that many Seize Claims, because we do need Island Walk in general. We're going to take out all the Spell Pierces. We'll bring in Echoing Truth and all the Dismembers. Do you know what? We'll bring in 1 Kira. We'll take out 1 Master of Waves, bring in 1 Kira. Kira just acts like a blocker in these situations.
She's flying.
She is flying. She is great at that. Okay, we'll submit this deck.
She's still underwater. But, whatever.
We'll keep this. It's fine. It needs a few more creatures to get there. But you know what? Lords plus some interaction. Better to have more Lords. Affinity, a tough matchup. Well, that Mox Opal won't be doing very much.
It's only tough.
That's a slow Mox Opal.
It's only tough because Affinity is all a gimmick. It's just a stupid gimmick.
So I'm going to put... Whoops, I forgot to play the Wanderwine Hub. I'm going to put the Lord of Atlantis in play. So that the very next thing we do is we put another Lord in play and then play around... play around Whip Flare.
So if there's flying, then there should be an acknowledgement of things that are underground. It should be.
This is 2 damage? Well, they have Metalcraft, so it's 4 damage. Okay. That's fine. You got it. Well, this is the underground sort of thing. It's Island Walk.
I'm just saying. You know, flying creatures and swimming creatures, they shouldn't be able to attack each other.
Ornithopter. Another Ravager. They don't really work very well together. So what I could do is I could Trickster this Ravager and then attempt to block it. One, two, three, 4, 5. They can put 5 counters on one thing if they really wanted to. If I block it, they can just... But the thing is, if I target it with Trickster, then they're going to have to sack things to this Ravager and then dump it on this Ravager. I think that's worth it. So they are going to sacrifice things in advance. It's going to be a 3/3 creature, but okay. So what happens if I block this, which I intend to? Now what happens? They might be planning to play Galvanic Blast. I can't block with the Master of the Protron, it would just die. Oh, they can Galvanic Blast this thing, though! Well, I am not playing a tight game of Magic here. They're just getting me all over the place.
Didn't take any damage, though.
Yeah, but I would have rather take the 3 damage there. Well, there's C's claim. It's not terrible. But I really needed my creature. So that's 3/3. Yeah, I'm gonna put on I'm gonna put on the Inkmoth Nexus because that's the fastest way to win if things go really bad for them. They have no mana right now, so I have to use the Seize Claim right now. So my situation wouldn't have been great because they would still had those 2 Galvanic Blasts. Like, even if I didn't make any blocks. Oh, that's bad news. And the problem is, if I go for a big block here, they could just let it die and then put all the counters on Vault Scourge. So I'll just do nothing. Just going to attempt to race. Hopefully we draw another Lord.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Or a Harbinger of the Tides. Any tempo card would be good. That's fine. That's fine. It's a tempo card. So, yes. No blocks? Or I guess... Yeah, no blocks. I guess what I'm going to do now is... Trickster the Vault Scourge to make sure there's no lifelink. I hope this is the right thing to do.
What the heck?
Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Okay. And then artifacts you control become 5/5 creatures. Great. So in 2 more turns, we're dead. If we draw a Lord, though, we would win next turn. Because we'll attack for 13 damage. So this is going to dig for 2 turns for artifact cards. Darksteel Citadel, that's a whiff. Lord? No, we draw. I know we've drawn a lot of gas, but I want to draw more gas, please. That is maybe good enough. Is this necessary? Should I hold something back?
No.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we're just gonna go with this. Maybe there's room to, like, keep something back. Not. No, do you know what? I had to keep something back. I need, if I want to use this Dismember, oh man, if I want to use this Dismember, okay, how's this going to work? They just put 2 artifacts on the battlefield. Because if I want to use this Dismember, I have to block this thing. But then they would gain a life, and the 6 damage is not enough if they go to damage. So what is this? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, let's see what happens. Maybe at the right time I can sacrifice this Dismember on the Ravager. Uh-oh, what? Hey, where did that come from? When did that happen? Oh, their draw step. Because I was wondering, like, you got a Darksteel Citadel and a Springleaf Drum out of this. 3 Galvanic Blasts! 3, all 3 of them? Well, it's really hard to beat that if that's exactly what they have. So we're going to take that much damage now. And now we're forced to do something. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we just lose. Hopefully they click through their attack step or something. Or we still lose even if we dismember that thing.
Good game.
Good games. Good games. It was interesting. I wish they didn't have so many Galvanic Blasts. So far has not been... It's like an okay showing for Seize Claim. We're running into matchups where the 5th and 6th Seize Claim would have been good. But we haven't run into any of the matchups where the 7th and 8th Seize Claim would have been good. Wondering how, if I just attack with the Lords, and I leave that guy as a blocker, what would have happened? Not sure. Well, we won the die roll, that's good. Hopefully they're playing Affinity. Ugh, we have not enough blue sources to cast any of these things. We're going to mulligan. We don't have enough cards in our hand, but I think we're going to keep this.
Yeah, you
Oh no, they mulliganed.
Keep it.
Okay, it's a good 5-card hand, so I guess I'll keep it. If they mulligan, we can keep this thing. Oh, we're definitely putting that on top. Excellent. It's all coming around again. We're back in good shape, people. We're back in the game. Silvergill will get us out of this. Silvergill knows what to do. And this is Dredge? Or maybe some form of Hollow and Aggro? Not sure.
What do you want?
Non-lands. That's not Ether Vial. Spreading Seas would be good, but that was a land. Against Dredge, any of our Spreading Seas effects will be great. That's exactly what we want to see. So still don't know if this is... It's probably some sort of Hollow and variant. Like, what? Dredge in 2018? Well, that's not good news. Dark Blast? That's really bad news.
Where's Grafdigger's Cage when you need it?
2 life from the Loams, too. Oh, but no black mana. So Neonate comes back.
There he is.
There it is, so...
There's water, boys!
What's important? Yeah.
Literally.
How do we prevent any of this stuff from coming onto the battlefield? I can't remember what's more important, the black or the green. I think the green is more important because of life from the loam. What does the black is used for? Could hardcast Stinkweed Imp? But I certainly don't want this loam engine going on. On the other hand, if we hit the black mana, it stops that the card that they just stretched their hand. But we have Lord of Atlantis to protect us from that. They brought back Dark Blast to their hand. So taking them off green also hits Abrupt Decay. Hitting on black also hits Abrupt Decay. What are they going to dredge here? Stinkweed Imp going back to hand. And the graveyard is Bloodghast, Golgari Thug.
All your relics are in the sideboard, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're all in the sideboard. But again, all Spreading Seas effects, great here. Just great. I'll take all the Spreading Seas effects. They actually dumped their Dark Blast. They're like, no, do you know what? I don't need this Dark Blast. Forget it. Unless that's another Dark Blast, but I think there's not many in the main deck. Didn't this guy... Didn't our opponent hear about Hollow One Aggro? Another Dark Blast. Wow. You're really hating on Merfolk. Or maybe they're hating on humans, but whatever. They're Dark Blast dot deck. That's dangerous, actually. They could start bringing back 2 Dark Blasts. That's not good. So lacking green mana, that's some good news. So we're going to get Bloodghast on the battlefield, which is going to trigger the 1 Prized Amalgam. They got a really slow, clunky start, so that's those are all good things for us. Conflagrate hits the graveyard. That's terrible. It's going to eat up our entire board. We need to draw a Lord to try to fight through this thing. And even then, it sounds not good. I don't see any other Prized Amalgams in the graveyard, so we're not under a lot of pressure. But the Conflagrate will eat us up. We need... a Spell Pierce would be... Spell Pierce might be iffy. Merfolk Trickster. It's better than nothing, I guess. Attacks both these guys. Narcomoeba can block, but it's not impressive.
How can they block if you're unblockable?
Okay, hold on. Do I even want to play Harbinger? If I play Harbinger... It just gives them more food to conflagrate with. They would have 5 cards in hand. They can conflagrate for 5, eating up the entire board. But then we have to deal with the next conflagrate. I guess we do nothing. We'll let them conflagrate if they want to conflagrate. And then we'll put, like, we can take a hit.
I love it when you do nothing.
We're gonna do nothing. We're gonna go to 1. I like being at 1. It's more dangerous that way. Yegast! It's a Bloodghast. Vampire Spirit. I'm saying all this time, where's your spirit? Where's your spirit?
It's in the liquor cabinet.
Yeah. Yeah, Dredge in 2018. Well, like, Hollow One Aggro is like a very similar-ish deck. I mean, well, I don't want to say it's similar, but, you know, if you're going to utilize the graveyard a little bit and you want to be aggressive and explosive with these discard outlets, maybe you want to start looking at Hollow One Aggro. I'm sure there are nuances between these two decks, like maybe Dredge is more resistant to removal and stuff like that. But so is Hollow One Aggro. How do you kill those Hollow Ones? How do you kill those Gurmag Anglers? So if I'm given the option, I'm just going to take this hit.
You're not going to bounce?
No. Well, I'll bounce at end of turn. Really want to see what they do with their turn, though. There's the Wooded Foothills. Wooded Foothills online. Taking damage. Life from the loam. Yeah. Bring more stuff back to your hand. Dump it with Conflagrate. Only 1 Conflagrate in the graveyard, so maybe that's not too hard to fight through. Only doing it for 3. That seems legit. Too bad I didn't have Spell Pierce there. So we'll flash and Harbinger of the Tides, bounce the Prized Amalgam. Fortunately, we don't have any creatures in our hand weak to Dark Blast. That's right, that's the card, right? Dark Blast? Yeah, Dark Blast. And Master of the Pearl Trident is great because now we actually have lethal in 2 turns, unless they can deal with this Master of the Pearl Trident. Well, they could still Dark Blast. How many Dark Blasts are in the graveyard? Both of them? So they could just like give a creature -1/-1 to give them another turn. That's a possibility. Gonna keep cards in my hand, give myself as much bluff possibilities. Bluff as much as possible. We're trying to dodge another Conflagrate in the graveyard. There is a Faithless Looting, so they can draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards, play a land, and then play Conflagrate for some amount. The funny thing with Seize Claim is it allows them to hard cast Prized Amalgam if they really wanted to. So I don't see Conflagrate. There's other cards in their hand that could ruin us, though. Okay, so no Conflagrate in the graveyard. Both Dark Blasts still in the graveyard. Holy cow.
Here it comes.
Here it comes, people.
Love
Oh, this
them
might...
triggers.
Oh, this is because of Narcomoebas. Narcomoeba.
Can you trickster one of them?
I could, but... I guess I could Trickster this Narcomoeba, but I'm not going to give my opponent any information. Here comes the Bloodghasts. Unfortunately, Abrupt Decay is now online, which is bad in 2 ways. It can kill our Seize Claim, it can also kill our own creatures. I don't think there's really much we can do about this, though. We just have to hope that their hand is empty. Their hand does not have good things. Okay, go on. I don't care about this. Tap out, tap out, tap out. Excellent! We win.
What's all this then?
More triggers.
For what?
End of turn stuff.
Oh.
Tap the Golgari Thug. You think you're a thug? Not so cool now, are you? Alright, so we get in 6 points of Island Walk. Excellent.
Island Walk showing its true strength in 2018.
Yeah, Island Walk's still good in 2018. So things we're gonna want, definitely definitely Relic of Progenitus, definitely Kira to deal with that stupid Conflagrate. We do want all the Spreading Seizes. Now Spell Pierce is like iffy. It's fine, but not mandatory. And we probably can take out a Trickster. And I think I like everything else. I know some people like Echoing Truth, but I'm not really a fan of it. I can see it like fine in some situations, but I don't think it's reliable. I'd prefer to just play with this. So yeah, again, because they're a 3-mana deck, you can easily like seize them out of the game and they won't do anything. I should say Spreading Seas is fine. I'm just going to opt to play without it. This hand is not very good. I think I'm going to mulligan. We can hit a hand with Ether Vial. We can hit a Relic of Progenitus hand or a hand with Spreading Seas. There's no reason to keep a hand like this. Well, we got our hand with Ether Vial, but it has nothing else.
Keep it.
We kept 7. I think I'm going to mulligan one more time. This sounds good. Alright, this hand's good. We just need an island to turn it on. Not an island. We're going to draw this for our first card. Do you know what? I'm going to keep it. It can help. It's worth a draw step anyway. So we're not going to do very much for the next few turns.
One island. Oh no, wait.
I think they have Lightning Axe in their hand. And they were hoping to use it on our first creature that we played. But we didn't play a creature, did we? We didn't play a creature. I guess they're going to play Conflagrate here. Or not Conflagrate, Cathartic Reunion. Hugs! The Hugs card. Huggy Huggy.
Those are both women, right?
Yep, there you are. Hugs. Hugging. Well, there's the conflagrate. That's not good news. No dredgers. What is going on here?
Relic of Adrenalis.
Yeah, relic would be... Well, no. I don't know if relic would be that good. So let's start by spreading seizing.
What else he's claiming?
Seize claiming. Well, I could play Silvergill. No, let's start seizing. Maybe the Blood Crypt. What can they do with green mana? Yeah, because if we do this, it prevents them from playing more stuff. Actually, the green can hit some form of Ancient Grudge. No, Ancient Grudge is for artifacts.
Ancient Stirrings.
Some sort of enchantment destruction. Green is always enchantment destruction. This color doesn't destroy any enchantments. So who cares? The Spreading Seas plan is not working. As planned. I wonder if they're just going like a super control route or something like that.
More mana control.
I think they have I really think they have Lightning Axe or something like that. Anyway, we're going to we got to show them something. We'll throw them Lord of Atlantis. I want to be able to use my mana. Merfolk Trickster, not bad. But now this Aether Vial is casting everything. In a lot of ways, we do not want to see an Ancient Grudge. That would be terrible. Ugh.
Here it comes.
For 2.
Can you trickster him?
It won't do anything. But do you know what? If we can get a Conflagrate out of their hand like that, I think it's worth it. That was a win right there.
Good trade.
Good trade, that's right. Good trade. And we can Harbinger the Tides, the Prized Amalgam, back to their hand. Or even this thing. No, I think we'll bounce the Prized Amalgam back to their hand. We're going to make them hard cast that thing. That'll be something.
Sorry. Boing.
I'm not sorry.
No, you think,
Well, with the island, we can play Merfolk Trickster. I was just thinking, what if I get hit by Anger of the Gods? But, like, that's not happening. That's just not happening. Discard and draw a card? Okay.
He's gonna poke you.
Mm-hmm. Poke it will. I've been poked. It's Prized Amalgam. More lands. Okay, I'll Trickster the Prized Amalgam. Just in case our opponent uses a removal spell on a Lord. Well, I mean, it's just a blocker. In general. Oh, I did that wrong. I was supposed to hard cast the Merfolk Trickster and Violin the Lord. Oh, that was a bit silly. Well, we drew a land which allows us to play our Lord of Atlantis anyway.
Gonna get in for some damage.
Oh, I'm gonna try. At least 9.
Could be 12 if you want to put in that other Lord.
I do not.
Why do you never do that? You never do that.
It gives my opponent perfect information how to use their Conflagrates if they have them. So there's the lightning axe, which I prophesized. Is there a second lightning axe?
How much does it cost?
You have to discard a card. So I guess they can't do it this turn. Does it hit players? No, just target creature. So we're going to hit for 9. Then hopefully they have nothing else. No draw spells. No real offense in play. They gotta start sacking this Neo. Well, I guess they don't want to sack the Neonate. They want to hope to draw a Dredge spell. So if they sack it now, well, I mean, they're gonna sack it no matter what because they definitely need cards to deal with this board if they want to have a chance at winning this game.
Resignation in 3.
No, they didn't discard a Dredger, so yeah, that could be.
2.
Oh, that was a good draw. Okay, Faithless Looting puts them back. Gives them a chance at least. Yeah, they discarded Garbage. So again, no... Well, now even if they find a Conflagrate, it's useless. I don't even know what they're looking for with an empty hand. Yeah, that's it. We win the match. All right. So, Seize Claim helped here. Extra Seize effects, great. And the 8 Seize plan is good against Dredge. You can ruin all their mana. They want to put all their lands in the graveyard, get them back with, what's it called? Life from the Loam.
Ball Scourge.
They don't play Vault Scourge.
It's a hidden ability. Not many people know about it.
But we are, we're doing so far, so good. Lost to Affinity, but like, what are you going to do? That's Affinity. Maybe we could have played that a little bit better. But they had 3 Galvanic Blasts. Please. I'd like to see you win through 3 Galvanic Blasts. Yeah, what are the odds? What are the odds?
Well, you're the mathematician here.
No, I'm not.
Well,
I'm not playing the Storm deck.
All the statistic courses: 60 cards, 4 Galvanic Blasts. What are the odds?
It doesn't work like that. Definitely does not work like that.
Well, whatever. Connect the dots.
Reminds me of people who are like, well, 1/3 of the deck is land, so you should have a land 1 every 3 times.
That's right. If you shuffle it right, that's what happens.
No, if you shuffle it wrong, that's what happens. If you stack your deck, that is what happens. Insufficient shuffling will do that. You gotta shuffle them up good. I need to start grinding. Like, I've been spending all my time on the YouTube channel for the last 2 weeks. You're going to see some very new, interesting content. And also, like, a bit of a facelift to the graphics. But I'm going to... I plan on going to SCG Minneapolis, so I need to get in reps for that. Everyone has, like, fancy avatars. I've been using the same stale old thing for forever. So we lost the die roll.
Even Coca-Cola updates their image once in a while.
This is 5 mana sources. We should mulligan this. This is 4 mana sources, but we have 2 Silvergill Adepts, so we can keep this. That's an island we're going to put on the bottom.
Dingus Khan.
Dingus Khan.
The Great Conqueror, yes.
So it looks like we're up against Grixis Death Shadow. Street Wraith turn 1. Turn 1. There's no way that I'm not... Oh, actually, do you know what? I should have played the Mutavault. Tell you why. If my opponent plays Inquisition of Kozilek and then nails my Silvergill Adept, then I draw another land, then I can't cast Silvergill Adept, and I should actually I could at least attack with the Mutavault. So we might see a Stubborn Denial. Nope, Thought Scour, putting just garbage in the graveyard.
Good.
Nothing we should be concerned about. And there we go! They're going to hit one of our Silvergill Adepts. I might be missing out on 2 damage with that Mutavault, unless we top deck a Merfolk.
Well, he's almost done half the work for you. So.
Well, that's what this deck does.
That's what they do.
Let's just put our life total down to 0. So this is a matchup where the Seize Claims will be terrible, just absolutely terrible, because they already have islands. I know they're a 3-color deck, but they can make use of the islands, so it's not that big of a deal. So Gurmag Angler is sort of a good thing to see, because it's not... I mean, it's a 4-turn clock, but it's a little bit more beatable than Death Shadows. And we are... Well, we're not super punished. I mean, it's a freaking Gurmag Angler sitting there, so even if I could attack with the Mutavault, I wouldn't. A real fish.
Yeah, that's something. That's the thing.
We're just nicknamed fish. Oh, there's Death Shadow. Well, speak of the devil.
Truly. You can bounce the fish.
Yes, and the problem is I can't really cast Silvergill Adept without revealing the Harbinger of the Tides. So I am probably best off just bouncing the fish right now.
Here comes Fatal Push.
Well, if it is, I don't really care. Ooh, Spell Pierce, excellent. Let's try to protect stuff. Not that they have a lot of removal in game 1, but I mean, they have it. What you gonna do? I guess they have a removal spell and they don't know if they want to use it or not. They're tight on mana, because they didn't play a 3rd land.
Spell Pierce, block, Fatal Push.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It blocks it like eggs on a brick wall. Well, that's not true. If they have enough mana, then they can play around this. They are going to go for the bolt. To their own face. Well, that's a bit awkward.
Well, that's what they do.
Okay, so I guess I'm going to let that happen. So if maybe the concern is Team Battle Rage, so it's good to have the Spell Pierce, because maybe that's what we need to play around. Team Battle Rage. So if we draw a Lord, we're just going to outright win. We can probably counterspell their one thing. Not a Lord.
Yeah, you could use the Draw Lord. Oh no, wait, you have to hardcast it.
That's fine. They don't have counterspells. Or not many. I'm still going to play it anyway. See what we draw. Wanderwine Hub. Not exciting. Okay, let's try to attack for 6. Or do I attack for 6? Maybe I just attack for 4. I'm trying to figure out what to do if they use a removal spell. Because if they use a removal spell end of turn to hit my Silvergill Adept, then I can't... do you know what? I'm just going to block with, like... I'm going to attack with these 2 things, I guess. I don't know what the best route here is. I'm just taking a route.
He's just pushing buttons. That's all he's doing. Yeah.
Okay, no blocks. Pass. I just have to be able to beat a Teamer Battle Rage. There's Snapcaster Mage. Just an extra body on the battlefield, but a useless body.
He's gonna bring that lightning bolt back.
Nope. Can only do it that turn.
Oh.
That turn and only that turn. I'm just going to simply block here. And if there's a Temur Battle Rage, I'll Spell Pierce it. Excellent. To be fair, Curse Catcher would have been fine. But if I played Curse Catcher, they probably would have... They might have bolted the Curse Catcher, but if they did, then the Death Shadow wouldn't have gotten so big.
3.
And now you scoop!
2,
That's how this works.
1.
There you go. As usual, my brother can prophesize exactly to the second that the opponent resigns.
That's right.
So we're going to take out all the Seize claims. We're also going to take out probably all the spray. Well, we also have to take out all the Ether Vials. We do have a lot of things that we can bring in. We can bring in Relic. That's a good card. We can bring in Kira. We can bring in the Dismembers. Kills Gurmag Anglers. We can bring in Echoing Truth. We can even bring in some Deprives. They're not bad. I like just being able to hard counter anything is useful. So Kira's going to help protect. They're post board. They're bringing in the removal like crazy. Kira's going to be great, and also Spell Pierce is going to go up in value. Counter Liliana the Last Hopes and Liliana the Veils if they bring them in. Deprive again, hard counter for all those things. You can hard counter late. The games go late, like you saw in that game. We can hard counter anything: Gurmag Angler, Snapcaster Mage, Death Shadow, Temur Battle Rage. So I don't mind having hard counters here. And Relic of Progenitus deals with their graveyard, preventing Gurmag Anglers and Snapcaster Mages from getting enough activity. And that's all I have to say about that.
Snapcaster Mage, Team Battle Rage.
Mm-hmm.
Graph Digger's Cage.
Make a rap.
Yeah.
Send it to Patrick Chapin. He likes to rap, I think.
I'd rather send it to Richard Garfield.
What do you think, Richard?
What are you people doing to my game? What's going on here?
Look, Richard, it's a great idea. I just need someone like you behind the idea.
Yeah, come on, Dick, get behind it.
Yeah. You just got popular from Dominaria. You need to ride this rush. So I got
That's all you're known for. Is
and he was also known for Alpha and Beta.
Your name isn't even in the box anymore. A Richard Garfield game, no.
Richard Garfield Company. This hand's fine. Double Relic. I like these sort of hands. It's a bit control-y, but, you know, whatever.
Cycling Street Wraith.
Cycling 2 Street Wraiths. Oh, is this the 3 Street Wraith keep with no lander? Is this the 3 Street Wraith keep with no lander? Is it? Oh.
Well, that's what you wanted anyway.
Here comes Serum Visions.
I think this guy's a chump. He doesn't even know how to play this deck.
Well, they know to put their life total down to like 9. They know that much. Okay, we'll get a Relic out. Probably I should activate it immediately. Prevent them Gurmag Anglers. So I guess a Thought Scour into a Swamp would put a Gurmag Angler on the battlefield. We have Harbinger for it. I'm not a huge fan of Echoing Truth in these sort of matchups. I mean, the saving grace is that you can bounce your own creature back to your hand. I don't... Like, you can take this as a tempo matchup, but Echoing Truth is just a bit clunky for my taste. It's like an expensive Vapor Snag. Was this going to be Tasigur? It's going to be Tasigur? Tasker?
Banana Man.
Tasker? Banana? Waiting for Dingus Khan to pay costs. How many bananas? Relic, what are you doing? Why didn't you do anything against the 3 Street Wraith hand? Oh, Thoughtseize. Okay, that's different. Even if they take my Harbinger, I'm not mad. I'm not mad! Take my Harbinger, I don't care. They might take I don't know, they might take Spell Pierce. They might take Relic.
They're all good.
Harbinger is situational. They don't have anything on the battlefield or tapped.
Harbinger should be able to bounce lands, too.
Yes, they should. Everyone in the comments section, let us know if you think Harbinger of the Tides should include lands in its text box. When Harbinger of the Tides enters the battlefield, you may return target tapped creature or land an opponent controls to its owner's hand. That would be nuts. They would ban it tomorrow. Okay, let's start to eat. Well, that's an interesting draw. I think I'm gonna wait on it though. Gonna continue to eat the graveyard.
That delicious graveyard.
Or maybe I didn't have to wait. I could have just played the island and passed. That would have been fine.
It's possible he's really going for Gurmag Angler. You just keeping it away from him.
I could spell pierce this. If they play Gurmag Angler, I'm just gonna Echoing Truth. I'm fine with that. Well, they had an opportunity last turn to play something. So. And they didn't do anything. There's Gurmag Angler. Running out of cards fast. Ooh, there's the Death Shadow. That's okay, so that's not good. Maybe now I need to draw cards. Maybe I should start actually using the cards that I have instead of passing the turn back and forth. Maybe that's an idea. Okay, I'll crack one of these relics. Even though this is like the totally wrong time to do that. That's not bad.
Blockers for Death Shadow.
If I have things in play for this Death Shadow. I regret tapping out with this Deprive. In hand. I had the Deprive. I had a plan. I also regret not... Whatever, forget. We're going to move to the future here, people. We're going to move to the future. I can bounce the Gurmag Angler, take like 6. Yeah, that's reasonable. I can do this while they're tapped out. And then I'm going to Spell Pierce like anything that I can Spell Pierce. And they know I have Spell Pierce.
This doesn't seem like the kind of player who takes notes.
Why, because they're a goblin? You don't
idiot.
think goblins can read? That's... Don't judge goblins like that. They have a great educational system. I mean, look, they make bombs and everything. You can't just... Well, I was supposed to say you can't figure that out on the internet, but you know what? I think I'm a bit wrong about that.
Alright, well, this chump's got to make a move. But then so
Not really. I think I have to make a move. If anyone's going to be making moves, it's going to be me. Okay, so they have an angler in hand. They have at least that. And then 2 random cards. As you can see, Seize Claim, not that great in this matchup. We already have the Island Walk. We don't need any more.
Well, come on, dummy.
Wonder what their situation is. Alright, they're just gonna pass. I'm gonna take my turn. That was a great draw. That was a great draw. We're just gonna bounce this Death Shadow back to their hand. Maybe we can gain some momentum. See how much removal is in their hand. If they have any removal at all. They don't know about Master of Waves. They don't know about Lord of Atlantis. They know about the Spell Pierce. That's all they know about. They didn't play anything at end of turn. Did they just start drawing into tons of lands? Oh, this might be Colligan's command. Eat our Harbinger of the Tides. Oh, that's different. And I can't do anything about that. Okay. They're gonna take our Deprive or Spell Pierce. So the good thing about this is that the Collective Brutality is out of their hand, so Master of Waves is clear to hopefully do some chump blocking. And also, it's lethal, because if we block the Death Shadow with, say, the Master of Waves token, we can crack back with Master of Waves and Mutavault with the Lord of Atlantis. Maybe the best thing that our opponent can do is take the Spell Pierce. I'm not sure. They take
The Spell Pierce.
The Spell Pierce, because that's the only thing that we're going to be able to cast in the next few turns. Like if I go running lands, I can cast Master of Waves and then maybe Lord of Atlantis, attack with Mutavault while holding up Spell Pierce. So I need to draw cards. I need to draw lands. That's a good card, but I need a land. There we go.
There she is.
Does anything change? Yeah, I think I have to just cast. I have to hard cast Master Waves. Hope that they don't have
Fatal Push. Well,
Team or Battle Rage.
They don't have the mana to cast Fatal Push.
Or a removal spell. They could have anything in their hand right now. Anything.
Oh, he's going to 1. This is it.
Yeah, that's it for me. I'm dead.
Really?
Yeah. They got a 12 till Death Shadow, and I'm at 12 life. That works. That's right. Alright, next game. Next game. Maybe I'll use my cards this game.
No.
What else could we do? I don't think there's anything else we could have done. Play Lord of Atlantis, pass. It's not like we can chump block.
Utter Laden, is that you?
This hand's poor. Mulligan. This hand's also poor, but we'll keep it. They also mulligan, so that's something.
Go to 5. Go to 4.
They went to 5. More lands.
Can't win.
Our last hand was really good. I just probably misplayed everything. Oh yeah, I'll play the island and pass. I want to give the illusion that I have Spell Pierce.
You could just say in chat,
I have Spell Pierce.
I don't mess with them. Is that against the rules?
No. As long as you're not offending the opponent. Everything's good.
Well, if you can't play with your library face up,
Well, this is
then
not
you
good.
shouldn't be allowed to say what you have in your hand to them. Joking or not.
I think you can say whatever you want. You can say anything. But I'm saying online, you just cannot harass your opponent. Don't say what you're saying right next to me into the chat box.
MTGO etiquette, people. It's important.
MTGO etiquette. The rule is just don't be a dick. Don't be a salty dick. Takes Trickster, that's fair.
Yeah, it's kind of useless against Death Shadow anyway.
Oh, it's useful for tapping things down. Situation's bad. Situation's bad. You know, I scryed to the bottom and we just top deck 2 lands in a row. Maybe things bad for our opponent too. Well, I guess I'm going to play the Harbinger because there's a chance that our opponent just Inquisitions this thing anyway. And it's better I get something on the battlefield.
Kozilek is related to Spaghetti Monster, right?
Yes, they're all Eldrazi's.
Okay. Emrakul.
Emrakul. Big Mama. Big Mama Emrakul. So I'm hoping that they bottom both. I'm hoping for anything good to happen to us. Opponent mulligan to 5. We kept at 6. But we drew garbage, so it's like we mulligan to 5.
Might as well.
They put one card on the bottom, one card on top. And they're keeping removal up. Well, that's good news. We'll attack for 2. Hits their face. Play Moonbolt and pass. So I think the card... I don't think they know about the Wanderwine Hub, the Island, or the Master of Waves at this point. And, like, we're just going to hope that they don't have any removal, and we're going to play this Master of Waves, and it's going to be good. Looks like they brought in a lot of removal, though, so if they have Dismember, they probably have, like, at least 3 Dismembers. Dismember, I think, is a great card in Death Shadow. The first time I saw it get played was by Owen Turtenwald at GP Vegas. Great addition to the Death Shadow deck. I mean, it's a card that kills basically all creatures in the format, including Tasigur and Gurmag Angler. Okay, there's Death Shadow. I do not have Merfolk Trickster. Ooh. What did I say? So if you take 4, go to 7. I think I'm just going to play a Master of Waves. Master of Waves by itself is quite a lot of damage, even if they kill the Harbinger of the Tides in response. And then we might be able to tempo our opponent out with Merfolk Trickster and a Mutavault. There's Fatal Push, so they have no sack outlet. That's what they're telling us. But this board is pretty scary, just by itself.
Well, come on.
So here's the thing. If we Trickster that Death Shadow, it turns into a 13/13 creature.
I know.
It goes crazy. If they attack with Death Shadow, I'm just going to take it. I don't any reason to block this thing. What are you going to do? Somehow magically hit me for 20? I don't think so. So you must have what we call a backup plan. You must have like Gurmag Angler or Death Shadow number 2 coming out. I don't block? You didn't see that coming? What's going on here?
Yeah, why aren't you blocking?
It's a 3/3 creature, and I really want all my creatures on the battlefield. Badly. So they have a Dismember in the graveyard at Lightning Bolt.
Bullshit.
Oh, here's Snapcaster Mage, which is gonna get Dismember. They're gonna Dismember the Master of Waves. Go down to 6. Okie dokie. Now what do I need? Lord?
I can hit him for 4.
think I'm just going to do nothing. Then Trickster at the combat step. Tap down Death Shadow.
Here it comes.
Street Wraith and lands go to the graveyard. So what I'm only hoping for is I Trickster this Death Shadow, and then I'm able to untap, find a Lord of Atlantis, they have no removal, and I win. That's the plan right now. That is the plan at the moment.
Don't misclick now.
Well, I'm not going to misclick. I'm still going to tap the Death Shadow. Well, it's going to tap the Death Shadow. It's going to turn into a 13-13 nothing. Look at it in all its glory. 13-13. Loses the text but keeps the flavor text.
You could poke him for 2. Oh wait, no, it's history.
I could poke him for 4.
No, you can't.
Hmm?
You only have 1 land to turn the mutable into a creature.
Oh, that's what you mean. Well, do you know what? It's their turn.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Oh, it's a close game. It's a close game. It's one of those close ones. It's a closey. What are things we want to see? Maybe Echoing Truth. Well, no, Echoing Truth could bounce the Snapcaster Mage, but they could recast it. Flew to Delta, find an island.
Oh, shit.
Echoing Truth can bounce the Death Shadow back to hand in a clutch. That's something.
Well, he's thinking about it. He's tanking.
That's good news. That's good news.
He's using his time bank.
Or, yeah, so I guess they're thinking hard about the Snapcaster Mage. I've got 1 unknown card in my hand. Could be anything. Well, okay, so if they're thinking, then that means they're thinking that they can attack with Snapcaster Mage and live, which means they probably have a removal spell in hand. Okay, so our opponent has at least 1 removal spell in hand. Otherwise, they would never make this attack. So, probably Lord of Atlantis would win. Whoa, what is going on here? Oh, they have a blocker in the form of Gurmai Gangler. Is that what's going on here? If they play Gurmai Gangler, then probably Dismember wins. Probably Echoing Truth wins. I mean, they might have, what's it called? Stubborn Denial in hand, but they're only going to have 1 card left in their hand. They're also deprived on blue mana. Oh no, well, there's the blue mana. But it's coming into play tapped. Oh, what is that all about? Just fetch? What is that all about? What's going on here?
Well, I hit him for 6 anyway.
Well, we basically flooded out.
Hit him for 6. Maybe
What is the point of attacking with Snapcaster Mage, huh?
Maybe he doesn't have any removal. Just hit him for 6. Just go. Just try it. It's your only option.
No, the option is also pass. I can chump block at the Death Shadow, and then try to draw things like Harbinger of the Tides.
I would say just go for it. Just put all your chips on the table. Good. Try to hit him for that 6. Just hope that he doesn't have anything.
Here's the weird thing. My opponent is not an idiot. Why did they fetch and put the Steam Vents conveniently in play tapped? Actually, there's another issue here. They know I'm playing with Spell Pierce. They know I'm playing with Deprive. Why give me a draw step? This is really weird. My brother might be right. Maybe this is another situation where we just have to attack with everything and just hope that that's enough to win.
He has 2 blacks. The only thing you could really play right now is a Fatal Push, right?
Yeah, but I can beat that with Spell Pierce. If I had it. Did my opponent just like massively like brain explode or something?
I would say just go for it. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose.
Yeah, but if I lose, I don't want to lose. I want to win.
The only thing you
I
possibly
win?
have is like a Fatal Push, right?
And next turn, I have to face Fatal Push, Lightning Bolt.
Oh,
Dismember is not going to work, actually. Dismember can eat 2 of their life.
have bolts.
Okay, hold on. Was there any way they made a mistake with their fetch? They fetch Pluto Delta. They might have figured out... They might have thought that they were going for a swamp for Dismember. And then they realized they don't have that swamp anymore, so they got this... Okay, so there was actually a reason that they got the Steam Vents. It's possible they were going for a swamp, and then they didn't realize that they thought scoured the swamp in their graveyard. Because if they had Dismember... they would only pay 2 life, but that still kills them. Okay, so what if I pass? Can I win this game if I pass? I chump block Death Shadow. And let's say they have removal. They eat like the other Mutavault. I'm like super way behind. So I just have to go for it here. Just have to go for it. Again, I have to hope my opponent made like some insane mistake. Some insane mistake. Or maybe they did have Fatal Push and they... Yeah, maybe they... Oh, no, but if they have Fatal Push, I still lose. Because they have the black mana up anyway.
Well, we are going to find out.
Yeah, here it comes.
This is it.
Whoa! What happened? These are 2 games where we had to sort of, like, chess it out and try to figure out what's going on. That was an insane number of things our opponents did. They didn't have to attack with Snapcaster Mage. They didn't have to fetch. After they fetched, they didn't need to put that Steam Vents in play. They could have maybe gotten an island, and we figured out there was no other way to win the game. We had to attack. Unbelievable.
That's right.
And you saw that line, you saw it instantly. Just attack with the creatures.
Either he's got the removal or he don't.
He's either got it or he doesn't.
That's right. So either it's going to happen or it's not going to happen.
Sorry that it took like 10 minutes to come to that line, but... You know, it's really weird the way my opponent was playing. But fortunately, the swamp was in... So what did they have in their hand? Not Collective Brutality, not Fatal Push, not... maybe Dismember. And then they fetched, hoping to get the swamp, but it still didn't matter. Or it did matter. No, but they could get an island. I don't get it. I don't know. Maybe their deck didn't have many islands.
Maybe he is an idiot. You're miscalculating that.
Excellent. We get to go first. We have Seize Claim in our hand. So that's good news. We're going to keep. Our hand is just premium.
You don't even know what you're up against.
Who cares? Oh.
Well, we're up against Death Shadow. This is a bad start.
If it's Jund Death Shadow, that's fine. Seize Claim is good against that deck. We're up against Ad Nauseam, and Seize Claim is terrible against that deck. Just terrible. Well, not. It's bad. It's not good. We'll be taking them out post board. Get in there, minions. Get in there. So sometimes Seize Claim can do something. So one good thing is our opponent did not play any Lotus Blooms. That doesn't mean they can't go off, but it's going to take them some time. But the point is, because they don't have a fast mana start, and our start isn't particularly fast, but we might be able to race it, especially on the play. At some point, we might want to Seize Claim that Seacrum Coast. And that some point might be now. Okay, so we'll Seachrome. They need white mana to cast stuff. But they need more black mana to cast Ad Nauseam. 2 pieces of black mana. What do they do with the Serum Visions? Card on bottom and top. I will take the white mana. I don't remember what's more important. It's been a while since I've had to deal with this matchup. If I remember correctly, that it does not play Bantu's Last Reckoning in the main deck. I'm going to take Ether Vial up from 2 to 3 so that we have Master Waves ready. Okay, so Lotus Bloom is on its way, but we're definitely going to start attacking for lethal by the time that all the suspend counters come off. No white mana yet, that's good. Serum Visions, 2 cards on the bottom. They're scared. I can smell the fear. Can you smell the fear?
Yeah, I guess.
I smell something.
It's probably just me.
Oh, that is a very good card.
There's a lot of lotuses in the Magic universe.
There is. Black Lotus, Lotus Bloom.
Lotus Petal.
We'll attack the mana. If they don't have enough mana, they can't win the game. And also, Spell Pierce will become really bad later if this...
3, 2...
No, we're attacking only for 8 next turn. And also, we need to make sure that we need to deprive them of ever getting white mana on the battlefield. So if we draw a Lord, we win. Yeah, we sort of need to draw a Lord to win on the spot here.
Well,
and we'll definitely win.
You're going to take him up anyway.
This is not going to do it. Maybe we can draw Spell Pierce. That's not bad. Another Harbinger of the Tides. So that sort of sucks. They're going right to 1 they're going to go down to 1 life, which is a big deal, so all they need is 1 life. And I'm certain they have everything that they need.
Maybe not. 3, 2...
They're definitely not resigning.
You don't know.
1000% they're not resigning.
Yeah, I know.
There's Phyrexian Unlife.
My favorite card. Because it's so stupid.
I don't need to put a Master of Waves in play, so I won't. Is there anything in our deck that can deal with this? I don't think so. So unfortunately, our opponent stole game 1. It's hard to say steal. Steal's a strong word. But I guess another thing that could have gave us a good chance of winning the game is if we drew instead of... Oh, no. We had to have that Spell Pierce for the Pented Prism. So I'm assuming our opponent has everything. Okay, we'll let that resolve. Let them show us the deck. What's in your deck, man? Oh, where's the revealed zone? Here's the revealed zone. Pretty sure it's pretty standard. All deck lists are pretty standard. Game 1. Very little flexibility. There's the Lightning Storm.
There it is. There it all is.
There it all is. So on the topic of Chalice of the Void, is it good in the metagame? Like, Chalice of the Void is very good against this deck as well. Putting on 0 or 1 is very strong. I would say 1 is more strong. I used to think 0 was stronger, but you know what? 1 is actually probably stronger because it can at least deal with Angel's Grace, which is a really important card. They're going to go down the Laboratory Maniac route. Fortunately, I do not have Mararegery in my deck. Okay, they're going to go that.
Let him burn time on his clock.
They're about to burn no more time. They're going to just instantly win. So, what do we want? We want Kira, even though it looks like they played around the Kira thing. We want Deprive, and we want Echoing Truth. What do we not want? So Spreading Seas effects.
Does Echoing Truth get rid of Phyrexian Unleash?
Yep, it does. It would be good. We're going to get rid of even at least 2 Spreading Seizes. I guess a Master of Waves. I think that's all we're going to do. I used to keep in more Spreading Seizes because of Boseiju. It's a land that it comes into play tapped, and you can pay 2 life and make your instants and sorceries uncounterable. But I don't see them in the sideboards anymore. So I'm going to spit this deck. Now, things that we have to be concerned about post-board are sweepers. I don't have any creatures in this hand. I just have an enormous amount of disruption. And I don't have a second island for the deprive, so we have to mulligan it. This hand's fine. This hand's good. It's got a bit of a clock, and then we can back it up with a deprive and echoing truth. I'll put the land on top, so we will need them. Bring on more lands. So spells that they play are things like Bantu's Last Reckoning. That's a new sweeper that's played here.
Who's Bantu?
A black god. Lotus Bloom enters the exile zone. Serum Visions. I would spell pierce that if I could. Cards like Lotus Bloom and Penthead Prism make spell pierce like pretty poor late game. I probably should have put the island in play. If I draw spell pierce in the next 2 draw steps and an island, then I'm not going to be pretty sad when I cast this Master of the Pearl Trident. We get a Silvergill Adept, so I actually probably will play that next turn. Or maybe not. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna figure out what to do. Penthead Prism. Our opponent is not in a position to win the game next turn. So I'm gonna play Master of the Pearl Trident, and then from there I can hold up Deprive and Echoing Truth, and if I draw a Merfolk, I will hardcast the Silvergill Adept off the Mutavault in the island while still holding up Deprive. And if not, I'm just going to attack with Silvergill Adept, Mutavault, and Master of the Pearl Trident while holding up Deprive and Echoing Truth. Also, keeping Silvergill in my hand might help me recover from a sweeper if my opponent plays it. They are running Supreme Verdict as well. I've seen that in some lists. The lists are getting crazy. The lists are getting crazy. I'm not in a good spot here because Deprive can only do so much.
You can only deprive them so much.
I can only deprive them once. If they have one answer, no good for me. Look at everything they're doing. Chalice on 1 would be great! It would be great!
Nobody plays Chalice in 2018.
I think a lot of people are playing Chalice in 2018.
That card is dead.
Ooh, Kira. But they can play around Kira so easily right now. A cool thing is I could play Kira and then keep Deprive. I think my opponent knows what my cards do, though. Two-turn clock. Let's try to make the best of it. If I draw a land, I might hardcast Kira.
As long as that Phyrexian Life isn't on the board, you can win.
The cool thing with Deprive is that it puts a land into my hand. So it gives me a land to discard to Lightning Storm. So if anyone doesn't know the thing, if I have a Kira in play and they go for the Lightning Storm combo, I can...
At the last second.
Well, when they cast Lightning Storm, you can discard a land to redirect the Lightning Storm to any one of your creatures. And if Kira's in play, it will counter that spell. So no matter what they do with the Lightning Storm after that, it just, fizzles. They can, of course... Whoa, what is going on here? Well, I have a feeling I cannot let that resolve. I don't think I'm allowed to let that resolve. Something horribly bad is going to happen.
Was that the monkey wrench you needed?
Maybe. Maybe.
3, 2. Ugh.
Oh, they're playing Phyrexian on life.
Just bounce it.
That's what I'm gonna do. Hopefully that's gonna be enough. Well, they can't combo off next turn either. Seven? I guess it's best that I just attack with these guys, though. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to attack with everything. Hope they don't play Angel's Grace. Then we're going to bounce the Phyrexian on life.
Game over, sucker.
Hopefully.
User wins.
Yeah, and we win. Boom!
Salt, come on.
I don't think they're salty. They know what the deck. They know what deck they're playing. It's all for combo players. It's all business.
It's just a numbers game.
It's a numbers game. That's right. It's a numbers game to them. If I think about it, like I don't recall many like Storm players getting super salty. Like they know exactly how their decks work. This hand is clunky as hell. We have to mulligan this. Yeah, we can't even cast anything.
Ooh.
Can't cast anything in this hand either. This is very clunky.
No, you gotta keep this one.
Why?
Because you got the Echoing Truth.
Yeah, but I have no island.
Yeah, but it might not come around again. You have a Mutavault.
This hand's great. We have to bottom this. We need another island for that deprive. How many Lotus Blooms do you have in your hand? None? Well, we have a chance. Ooh, that is a good one. Please don't play Pentad Prism next turn. And then I'm going to counter your Phyrexian on life on turn 3. Or at least that's the plan.
Bottom.
I'm playing an island. Pass. Nothing I can do anyway. What do you want me to do? I'm glad I countered that Gifts Ungiven. I don't know what they were going to get, but I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know. Alright, let's see if we can draw some lands. We do draw land. Can't counter stuff with that, though.
Island.
Interesting. So we could file that in. Take it up to 3. We're not there yet, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait on that. Merfolk. Can they combo off next turn? I guess not. We'll put the shields down one turn. Just to get a board on the battlefield. The problem is ticking at this thing up to 3 is just awful. Just awful. Holy cow, what's going on here? Oh, Gifts Ungiven again.
Boom.
What is going on with this deck? Alright. Do you have like some sort of Unburial Rights package that I don't know about?
No.
I guess so. Did you like turn into some weird Reanimator deck? Because I can't beat Elishnorn. I will admit that. Gifts Nauseum. Yeah, Elishnorn. And Unburial Rights. And the shields are down. I had Spell Pierce up. So how to beat Elish Norn at this point? I don't think I can. Oh, I can... Okay. Well, I need another Harbinger of the Tides and a Merfolk Trickster, and I can bounce this Elish Norn back to their hand. That I can do. So we have like 4 turns to do this. Unfortunately, a Harbinger of the Tides is already in the bin. That's a problem. I wonder if this deck can win also through just the normal ad nauseum route. I'm guessing so. Nope. No, thank you. Don't make my life harder than it already is. So I have 5 turns to draw exactly Merfolk Trickster and Harbinger of the Tides. And then even then I still have some trouble because I need to deprive this thing on its way back down. And there are only 3 Harbingers left in the deck. But they're all there. They are all there. Okay, so odds are going down and down and down. Okay, new plan.
Hope that he dies of a heart attack.
Hope they go for the ad nauseum combo, and I put the cure in my hand, or I put the cure on the battlefield somehow. No, it doesn't even matter. The cure just dies instantly. There's Pantad Prism. This is unfortunate. If they don't combo off here, we could have just did this passy back. I didn't think I was in danger when they had 3 untapped lands. Can you blame me?
Yes.
They had 3 untapped lands, like Simeon Spirit Guided into Gifts Ungiven. To be honest, you could play around with that. If I knew what was coming, you could play around that.
It's looking worse.
I'm going to untap this thing. So we have... I think we're drawing dead now. I think we're drawing dead. Because we get hit for 4. No, we have to draw Harbinger or Trickster in the very next card. We get hit for another 4. Then we draw it 1 more time. Trickster or Harbinger or bust?
Island.
No, we drew enough of those. Why do you listen to him? He doesn't know how to play this game.
That's why I listen to him. Well, it has to be 1 every 3 turns, right?
I drew like a million. We started off with 1 land. What turn is this? Turn 7? We started off with on a 1-lander.
And you can't cast anything for a blocker?
We have Echoing Truth. That's another out. I forgot about Echoing Truth. We could Echoing Truth this thing back.
Elish Norn, serious business.
I'm untapping it. It's the rare moment that I get to use my Manamo. Okay, take 4. So Trickster buys us another turn. And Echoing Truth might get us in this game. But there's also the problem of us Echoing Truthing Elish Norn. They recast it. And then they just have a... What do you call this?
Thousand Island Syndrome.
Thousand Island Syndrome.
Or no, Salad Dressing Syndrome, I'm sorry.
Whatever, that's all good.
It's Thousand Island.
Okay, well, I've seen enough. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Norn.
Thanks, Norn!
Jackass.
No one likes you, Norn. Well...
You got treasure chest.
Yeah, I did. So we saw a little bit out of Sea's Claim. I wish we played against more matchups that were relevant for Sea's Claim. Like, instead of the Dredge matchup, we saw Hallow 1 aggro. I think that would have been good for it. Not good against ad nauseum. Ad nauseum just doesn't exist. It's like less than 1%. So that's like a fringe. That's interesting. We just played Modern as if it was half a year ago, or even a year ago. It's all come around full circle. The dredge decks, they're coming back. The ad nauseum decks, they're coming back. No, they're not coming back, people. They're not coming back. But that was. But we still saw some play out of Sea's Claim. Like, Sea's Claim. You still want those extra islands sometimes against Affinity. You don't necessarily need to mana screw them. The extra islands helped us beat humans. The extra islands helped us beat Dredge. If we didn't have Island Walk, we wouldn't have won that match. And Sea's Claim was useless against Death Shadow. But I hope you liked it. I think 8 Seas. I don't want to say it's. I don't want to say it's optimal right now because there's still a fair number of blue decks out there like Blue White Control and Blood Moon and Grixis Death Shadow. But it's better positioned now than it has been for a very long time. And if your metagame is very control light, I think this is an option for you. We're going to thank all my patrons supporting me on Patreon, and we're going to thank themanabase.com for being our sponsor. This has been Nikachu and his brother playing 8 Seas Merfolk in Modern.